Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 6. I'm Sydney Bouchelle. We're starting off in Curie Beach. Many other churches were open this evening with people across the Cape Fear coming together to worship. WWAY's Peyton Furtado was out and about tonight and she joins us now live in the studio. We start tonight with the latest on several crime stories in the Cape Fear. A woman charged with second-degree murder and felony child abuse in the death of her 2-year-old son made her first court appearance this morning in Pender County. Quenisha Fennell is accused of killing her child, Keith Stevens Jr., on December 11, 2017. Strickland had been a volleyball coach at Hoggart for 38 years, which is around the time the crimes allegedly took place. Sadly, Strickland is not the only New Hanover County Schools employee charged with sex crimes in recent years.
They're going to be bonded.
Yes, absolutely. They have plans. They're going to meet up tomorrow even, and their whole families are going to get together and get to know one another. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a friendship that lasts for life, I think. So.
I know we don't want to say too much. The son is more than welcome.
Absolutely. I was about to say, I can't wait for those 60s. Even if they're not hanging around for long, it'll be good to see them for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. And again,
you know, I would call that perfect Valentine cuddling weather tomorrow.
It is, you know, just cold enough to
sacrifices to even get on the football field this year.
Absolutely, and their hard work did not go unnoticed, and that starts again soon.
It does.
What did you find out?
Well, Hannah, the Brunswick County Emergency Management says this is going to be a long process of recovery, and I talked to people who are going through that process right now, and they say that they're leaning on their faith to get them through it all. As that this is something that the National Weather Service is aware of, and even though there are systems in place to help strengthen their data, they are working to get budget proposals together to get that more than $5 million needed to get the radar moved and put in a better location. At the New Hanover County Maintenance Yard for the NCDOT, and like you said, they are getting ready for that potential winter weather that we could see in the Cape Fear. They have started their anti-ice operation. Well, this law allows a couple different things, like allowing ABC stores to accept online orders starting October 1st. But what you're talking about is the ability for cities to create social districts, and that's something that people seem to love, but they all share the same main concern, and that is safety. The Columbus County Sheriff's Office searching for Anthony Spivey in the Lumber River, deep in the woods near Fairbluff. Sheriff Jody Green says Monday's search was difficult.
Current's extremely fast. The water's dark. They're having to feel the way around. Not much visibility under the water at all. We're still positive, though.
The former Chadbourn police chief is charged with dozens of embezzling and drug charges.
Anthony wasn't that type of person. He was honest. I trust him with my life. I'll put it that way.
He was set to appear in court for a hearing Monday morning, but never showed up.
People have a tendency to, when they read the papers or any type of media in general, they believe it. But the man, it's all alleged. He hasn't been convicted.
Spivey's family says he has been missing since around 5:30 Sunday evening. Dean Sasser, a father figure to Spivey, says Spivey asked to borrow his truck Sunday night for 30 minutes or so. When Spivey didn't return, Sasser and his wife went looking for him. They couldn't find him, so they started searching again Monday morning. That's when they found the truck at the edge of the river and Spivey's small boat stuck on a log a couple of hundred feet down the river. They called over a game warden, who then called the sheriff's office. Sasser says the last 2 weeks have been very difficult for Spivey.
It didn't really hit until I seen my truck and I seen the boat where it was located. And he had left a letter in the truck to all of us, saying his goodbye. So it's devastating.
As the search continues, they reflect on who Spivey is to them and lean into their faith in God.
He was a good family man, good friend. He always helped his friends. And what disturbs me most about that is when all this stuff started, his friends turned his back on him, and that broke his heart.
Just shouldn't happen, not like this. Nobody should have to go like this.
Sheetal Patel advocating for change, hoping North Carolina can not only be first in flight, but first in fight, after her husband, Dr. Henry Patel, died after undergoing anesthesia to get dental implants.
I cannot stand by or wallow in my grief and not do something about it when it's preventable.
Dr. Patel went to Dr. Mark Austin, an oral surgeon in Leland. Towards the end of the procedure, Dr. Patel's oxygen levels dropped, and after an unsuccessful effort to place an endotracheal tube, 911 was called. Dr. Patel later died at New Hanover Regional Medical Center.
And I just don't want anyone else to go through what we as a family are going through, our community, our friends, our family, and all of those who've lost loved ones before us, you know?
Now she wants to see the same standard for oral surgeons as medical surgeons, wanting to make sure that anytime someone is placed under deep sedation, a certified registered nurse anesthetist or anesthesiologist must be in the room to monitor the patient.
This is not just an outlier, as some have called it. This is happening.
Last week, Patel and her children went before the North Carolina State Dental Board, proposing these new rules and sharing their story. Some oral surgeons oppose the change, saying it doesn't happen to enough people. Patel says, according to her research, death after dental anesthesia is not very uncommon.
If Henry was the only person, he didn't have to go. Not like that. You know, my children did not deserve their father to be taken that way. I didn't deserve to be a widow at age 47.
Some say adding the extra staff would make it too expensive for people to get procedures, but Patel believes it would only make people feel safer. Plus, oral surgeons already charge an extra fee for anesthesia.
Why not pass that on to a CRNA or an anesthesiologist? Yes, it's money out of your pocket, but think about it. It is for the greater good. It is for that patient who deserves to go home.
She says she may not be a medical professional, but she's a fighter. Patel says she will continue to fight to make sure future patients are safe, just like her husband did.
That would be my greatest goal, that my husband saved lives while he was alive, and hopefully even in death he could save other people's lives.
In Wilmington, Sydney Bouchelle, WWAY News. Today, we finally got our first look at some of the damage here in the Ocean Ridge plantation as Governor Roy Cooper toured the neighborhood, and it is devastating. Take a look.
It's devastating, no doubt about it.
Governor Roy Cooper surveying the damage left behind by the deadly tornado that tore through Charlotte on Monday night. At least 60 homes damaged or destroyed. Some only bricks and debris remain.
We're thinking about you and
speaking with residents and county officials about the next steps in recovery, saying the state has provided assistance like highway patrol and other efforts.
what has to happen is a damage assessment to see what the area would qualify for, and that's what is occurring right now.
Many residents had little to no warning for the storm. Cooper says there's a continuing effort to improve technology to help notify the community when storms like this happen, noting that tornadoes can form in an instant.
People need to look at what happened here and learn from it and see if systems can be improved to try to give people as much warning as possible.
County Emergency Services Director Ed Conroe says recovery will be a community effort.
We have an overwhelming support from our community to the point where we're trying to figure out what they could do and manage it correctly and effectively to get the community back together.
Looking ahead to what's next.
Let's show everyone how strong we are as Brunswick County, and I said I'm proud to be here as part of Brunswick County and lead this effort, but we'll get through it.
And we're here at the clubhouse right now, where is the Brunswick County Command Post. And people were here earlier, residents of Ocean Ridge, picking up some supplies that they need. And they were telling us about the hail and the wind and everything that happened the night of the storm. Take a listen.
Now, I have seen people on television talking about the tornado they went through and said, oh, it's like a train and I thought, honest to God, I put the pillow over my face because I thought, this is it, we're dying.
I was just watching that and just realizing that, I was going to die.
Nothing short of a miracle. Sasha Scheller says he was on his boat alone. The weather was nice, so he headed a little further offshore than he normally would, by himself, to catch mahi. He took his life jacket off because it was so calm. While relieving himself off the side of his boat, he lost his footing and fell overboard.
I tried to grab the side of the boat, my finger slipped. I tried to grab the ladder down here, which was folded up inside, but my hand slipped off of that and watched the boat go away, heading out to sea.
His boat wound up driving to another boat with a father and son on board, who quickly noticed there was no captain. That's when Andrew and Jack Sherman jumped into action.
We speed up and just kind of trail them 20 yards off their port side. And my father, he digs out the air horn and gives them a few honks.
After a few minutes of no one responding, they decided to board the boat. They called the Coast Guard once they realized it was likely a man overboard situation. The Coast Guard advised them to check the boat's GPS.
Modern GPS systems, a boat can put down a track, and that track is essentially to leave a line behind wherever you've been. And so he had done that. He had set up a track.
The duo split up, looking at different points where the boat had been. Eventually, Andrew saw something.
So I sped up the boat as fast as it would go, covered the distance quite quickly, and I just saw this arm come out of the water like this, and I came on the radio. I was just like, Coast Guard, I have found him.
Instant relief. Knowing that, sorry, knowing that I can come back home to my kids, my wife, my parents, it was the best feeling in the world.
At this point, Scheller had been treading water for 2.5 hours, all thanks to advice his father gave him when he was young.
You are in control of your mind, and if you decide that you're going to make something happen using your mind, then you can do anything you possibly want to do.
Now, Scheller pleads to boaters to prioritize safety.
Do not take off your life jacket. Even if it's the perfect day, do not take your life jacket off, and always have a kill switch. Always.
Roosters, cows, and goats, oh my. Helpers of Our Farm, or Hoof, is a nonprofit educational animal sanctuary on Greenland's farm. Hoof president and farm owner Maud Kelly says, like everything else, COVID presented as a challenge to the farm.
Before, we were doing quite a few tours, teaching. Everything that we do at Hoof is education-based normally. So we do parties and things as well, but if I'm there and I'm handling an animal, I will most likely teach you about it, whether I'm at a birthday party or whether you're here to learn.
Eager to get visitors safely back to the farm and help fill a basic need we've all been missing lately.
We are definitely at a deficit for feeling the ability to touch and hug and embrace people. And it's wonderful to be able to do that with an animal.
So what's the solution?
We are offering cow cuddling. We have other animals to cuddle as well.
The roosters, goats, and turkeys don't mind the cuddles either.
And we're also doing family portraits with our llama, Coleman.
Not only will the animals feel the love, you will too.
We all know the hormone of oxytocin, and it creates a wonderful sense of peace and healing and love. So you get that experience when you hug somebody or a cow or a goat, and actually it in turn makes the goat or the cow feel very peaceful as well.
But maybe wear shoes with no laces.
You are just a naughty little goat.
In Bolivia, Sydney Bouchelle, WWAY News. Well, Jakey told me to be on the lookout for Laney's high-powered offense led by Ty Little and Connor Poe. But to me, the story of the game was Laney's defense and special teams. The Laney Buccaneers hosting the East Bladen Eagles in Bucktown. East Bladen off to a good start. A pass is good to number 4 Nazir Smith for the first touchdown of the game. Laney coming back quick. Number 9 Ty Little passes to number 4 Connor Poe, and he runs it down the field for a touchdown. Bladen tries getting the ball back down the field, but a pass is intercepted by the Bucks. Number 21, Chuck Jones, puts them in the red zone, getting them prepped for another touchdown. Bladen getting the ball back. The pass is good to number 4, Nazir Smith, for a 17-yard touchdown. The Bucks getting the ball just on the doorstep. Again, next play is number 25, Eli Riviera, with a 3-yard touchdown. After halftime, the Bucks catch the ball after kickoff. Number 3, Kerry Cortez, running a 60-yard touchdown. East Bladen getting some first downs, but Laney just did not let them get down the field. But with only 40 seconds left, the Eagles completed a pass to number 82, Latham Waters, for the team's final touchdown. Final score, Laney 52, East Bladen 18. Head coach for the Bucks, Luke Little, says the offense was explosive, but defense showed out tonight as well.
They got us the ball back. Last year, defense was on the field a long time, and the offense stayed on the sideline. But this year so far, they've done a good job of getting us the ball back. And obviously, O-line is so much improved. And if we got the ball, we got chances to score.
Tonight's win marks the first time Laney has been 3-0 since 2011. Reporting for the fifth quarter, Sydney Bouchelle, WWAY News. Well, Jake, tonight I gotta tell you, I definitely got my steps in. Tonight's game was all about offense. The West Brunswick Trojans hosting the Laney Buccaneers for their senior night. Trojans take the ball first, and number 32, Kevon Daniels, running the ball down the field for the first touchdown of the game. But Laney said not so fast. The Bucks send a pass down to number 4, Connor Poe, for another touchdown. I was not kidding when I said this was all about offense. The Trojans get the ball back, and number 7, J.J. Cobb, taking it all the way down the field for another touchdown. And you guessed it, the Bucks got the ball back, and Connor Poe carries it all the way to the end zone for another touchdown. The Bucks try to hold the line, but West Brunswick Carter Wyatt pushes through for another Trojan touchdown. Trojans ending the first half with momentum. J.J. Cobb starting the second half with another touchdown, but here comes Laney. Connor Poe takes it all the way to the red zone, and boom, taken down by the Trojans, but sets number 9, Ty Little, up for a touchdown. After another Trojan touchdown, the Bucks try getting the ball down the field. Number 25, Eli Riviera, with some fancy footwork, but smacked down by 2 Trojans. The Bucks do make it down the field a couple more times, but in the end, the Trojans came out on top. Final score, Laney 35, West Brunswick 48. Coach Brett Hickman says they knew they had their hands full taking on the Buccaneers, but they'll continue working their offense and powering up the defense.
We're excited to see what we can do offensively, defensively, and our kicking game is really coming along the second straight week, blocking a kick to set up a short field score. So, I like where we're headed, and I think we got a chance to be a difficult team to beat here in October.
But the coach had nothing but good things to say about the Buccaneers. He says players like Ty Little and Connor Poe are going places for sure. Reporting for the fifth quarter, Sydney Bouchelle, WWAY News. Back to you, Jake.
You're watching WWAY News at 11.
Now on WWAY News, remembering what some say is the worst day in Wilmington's history. Plus, several people learning to play a new instrument in the Cape Fear at a special festival. And celebrating Black History Month by supporting Black-owned businesses. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 11. I'm Sydney Bouchelle. We begin tonight with a shooting just a few hours ago in Wilmington. Police responded to a shooting on North 31st Street around 7 p.m. A spokesperson with Wilmington Police says little information is available at this time. WWAY's Celeste Smith was on the scene. She says officers were lined up from North 31st to Montgomery all the way around to Princess Place. We will bring you more information as soon as it is available. Also in Wilmington today, a teenager has been arrested after shots fired reported early this morning. Wilmington police responded to the call around 3 a.m. at the Waffle House on Market Street. When officers arrived, 6 people were detained at gunpoint. Officers say Elijah Tariq Shepard was shooting into the air but tossed the gun under a car before police arrived. After a search, officers found a Glock 19 under a nearby vehicle, and Shepard had several shell casings on him. No one was injured. 19-year-old Elijah Tariq Shepard was charged with disarming a firearm in city limits and going armed to the terror of the public. He was given an $800 secured bond. Police responded to another shots fired call around 3 a.m. this morning at 4100 Breezewood Drive. When officers arrived, they found several shell casings and damage outside the condominiums. No one was injured and no descriptions were given for a suspect or a vehicle. If you know anything, please contact Wilmington Police. It is the first weekend in Black History Month, and the Cape Fear Museum invited community members to watch a film based on a historic and what some have called the worst moment in the city's history. The free event showed the film The Red Cape. It's a dramatic depiction of the 1898 massacre. that took place in Wilmington. Before watching the 40-minute-long film, the Cape Fear Museum's historian, Dr. Jan Davidson, gave a brief introduction of the moments in history that led up to the 1898 massacre to provide historical context to the movie. Davidson was glad there was a large turnout at the event.
We have fun stuff, but we also grapple with the heavy issues that have affected our communities, such as slavery, racism, 1898 segregation, hopefully in a way that fosters debate, conversation, and a better understanding of maybe how we could move forward.
The Cape Fear Museum is partnering with New Hanover County's Office of Diversity and Equity and UNCW and New Hanover County Schools for a series of panel discussions that will focus on the intersection of race, social justice, and education during Black History Month. For more information on that, you can head to our website, wwaytv3.com. Also in Wilmington for Black History Month, Black-owned businesses participated in inaugural market pop-up shop showcasing minority small businesses. The event was held at Anointed Creations Event Center in Wilmington yesterday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Black Market, founded by mother and daughter duo Denise Wiggins and Alexis Perry. Wiggins says they hope to create a safe space for Black-owned businesses that might not have a storefront to gather and sell their items, highlighting them in the Wilmington community. After months of planning, the two shared that they were excited to see the event come to fruition and the positive response from local Black businesses participating in the market.
The energy in this building has been amazing. It is actually, I had to hold my tears back when I saw the crowd come in, the vendors coming in and setting up, and the vision that my daughter and I had actually come to life. So it was amazing.
We have out 9 vendors, and it's really amazing to just see, African American business owners come and thrive in their success and really thrive in their passion.
Cool. Organizers of the Black Market hope to hold the event monthly. For more information, you can head to wwaytv3.com. And today, a festival celebrating bagpipes was hosted by UNCW and the Scottish Society of Wilmington. The inaugural event was hosted at UNCW's Cultural Arts Building. There were 2 workshops for new and experienced bagpipers with an opportunity to learn from guest artist Bill Caudle and vendors. The event was a chance for people familiar with and those newly introduced to the bagpipes to appreciate the history the instrument has in southeastern North Carolina, as many immigrants who came to the region were from Scotland.
It has this sort of old world quality to it. It has a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things to manage, but once you are able to get a quality sound and really to get around the instrument, it's pretty amazing to get people's attention and to harken back to centuries ago, the music and the traditions and the cultures associated with that instrument.
Following the workshops, there was a free recital for attendees to enjoy sounds of the bagpipes at UNCW's Beckwith Recital Hall, featuring guest artist and workshop leader Bill Caudle. Tensions continue to build in Europe with thousands of Russian troops stationed at the Ukrainian border. How the U.S. and its allies are responding, and how the people of the Cape Fear are responding, what protesters are saying about the conflict.